I welcome you all the beings out there. In this part of discussion, I will be forwarding my understanding over our one universal expression of pointing the finger to somebody else who helped or forced us to take the current state of being or current birth to wherever you are born, which part of the world you are born, in which condition of the world you are born. I want to express my view on the complaint or praise given to anybody who helped or forced to bring us in this state. I will provide you my own inner understanding from my own experiences, my own analysis of the knowledge, my own analysis of the phenomenon surrounding us. So before proceeding, let us calm ourselves down by breathing in and breathing out, long and slow through the stomach. So breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. So when we point the finger on somebody whom we think that brought us in the current state of being or helped to take birth on the current body, I would say, or in the current state, wherever on the earth or whichever part of the earth. So when we have taken birth in this earth, whichever part of the earth, whatever situation, whichever condition, I would say, we always point the finger to anybody. It could be our parents, it could be the supreme being, the God figure, anybody who either forced or helped to take birth with the parents that we have, and then in the current situation that is here. Like somebody can be very dissatisfied because he was born in the very miserable condition where there is not enough food. Somebody may be very satisfied and then may praise to the person who gave birth, or may praise to the person whom he thinks that helped to take birth with the parents who have a strong financial condition, who can feed better, and then he also feels that he could live his better life. And also some may be complaining that why they were forced to born in a very cold climate. Some may be complaining that why they were forced to born in a equator region, Sahara desert, very hot. We always point to somebody else. And is it correct to point somebody else? Is it there somebody else who forced us to take birth on some people, that is parents, who are at a certain place on the earth, or grow up in this place where there is a miserable condition or there is a very favorable condition? Does that make any sense to point? And in my understanding, it doesn't make any sense, because we ourselves have decided where to take birth, in which condition to take birth, whom to make our parents. We ourselves have decided. If we see the one that is complaining, then the complaining is the outer being. Who is complaining? Complaining is the being that is attached, that is outside, that we see as a body, that we see as a flesh, that can store the information of our experiences, that can analyze the thing which could happen in the future. That is the one that is complaining, because it does not know that though it complains, nobody had a hand or forced it to come in this state. It was its own inner being which wanted to come in that state. If we decouple the inner and outer being, then the inner being, which is very calm, which is not influenced by outer attachment, which is always present, which was always here from infinity to the infinity, is the one that decided to come in this state of being. The outer being, which is attached, does not know this state, does not know who decided. So he is always complaining, or he is always praising to the situation which it is now. But the inner being, which is deep inside us, which is detached, which is awakened, had made the decision. And those being which is awakened, which is detached, when they make the decision, it is the correct decision what they make. And this is the being which exists from infinity, which does not vanish, which does not destroy, and is the one which decides what we will be after we leave this current state of being. So, as we continue our journey in the different states of being, this is the one which is deep into us, the being that is deep into us, which is detached, decides in which form and state we are going to proceed after here, how long we are to stay in this state of being. It is also decided by the inner being. So when we are pointing to somebody because we are facing misery, it doesn't make any sense, because the person did not have any hand to bring or give birth to the person whom they gave, whom they feel that it is their child, or none of the other external beings, just like God or a heavenly being, forced to conceive a child to a person who were in this current state. It was the child's its inner being which forced, which wanted to come in this current state, whatever it is. In the misery, if it has come in the misery, then it is its own decision that it made. If it is in a very lavish state, where he has enough of food, enough of um, things that it needs to grow up properly, then it was its own decision to come in that state. So, pointing the finger to anybody, saying that they brought us in a misery, I was born because of those persons or those figureheads' decision to born in the misery, does not make any fruitful conclusion, doesn't bring to any fruitful conclusion. It is our own inner state, inner being that decides where it wants to go. It is our own inner state of being that makes all those arrangements where and in which state and in which direction it will proceed further. And this thing will not be understood until we bring that inner being outside. Until we make the outer being and inner being together, we will not understand this. We will not be able to understand this uh, process, this process of continuation, this process of going ahead. We will also not be able to understand where we were from before, how the process was that it brought us in this current state. So if we are in the misery, if we are in the abundance, if we are in the cold climate which we do not like, if we are in a hot climate which we may not like, it's nobody's fault. It's nobody's fault or nobody's pressured us to be in that state. It is our own inner being that decided to come in that state. And why it decided, it will be a long discussion, so I will leave that for our next discussion. But pointing out to anybody else for our current state, pointing out to anybody else that they forced us to be take birth in this current state, which you feel that it is misery or it is surplus, or which you praise that you are in a good condition, they made birth to you in the good condition, is not the current way of understanding. Correct way of understanding is us, what we decide. It is our inner being who decides all the steps of our life, all the steps of our further future life. So I would recommend to experience the life as it is. Try to be aware, try to be awake, experience the life in its pure form, how it is. Do not think it is miserable. Do not think it is surplus. Do not you need not to praise anybody or you need not to say bad things to anybody. It is all your own decision that is coming from the inner being. In this aspect, we all be what we want to be, what we wanted to be, and what we are already in the process of being in the next state. So, by saying this, I would greatly appreciate to continue to stay aware, awake, and open the door to your happiness in the current state of being and experience bliss in the current state. I wish you all peace and tranquility, and I bow to all the being out there. My divine in me bows to all the being